Hello, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Daily Programmer. So, the last hour we talked about the switch statements, which is what you can see currently. But today I'm going to be teaching a more interesting thing called loops. So, as you go higher and higher in this programming journey, you'll be encountering more interesting stuff. Trust me. So, in some times in your program, you want to execute something as many as possible, as long as a condition is met, or even infinitely, depending on whenever you start the program. You want to continue executing this often and often again. I know it will not make sense to you, but we encounter this a lot in our application. While building a very robust application, you want to do something multiple times as long as a condition is met, or even infinitely as long as the application is running. So the way you can do this is the way of loop, a concept called loop. In this loop, we have so many types of them, but there are few that are very common and very popular that we use all the time. So I'm going to teach you them. You understand them, and then you understand how it works and why we use them. So next time, I'm going to teach you guys about what they call the for loop, the for loop, or you can call it for statement. So me, I usually call it for loop because it's a kind of loop. So this is the syntax. Like I told you, it is a way of repeating something, repetition, doing something over and over again, as long as the condition is met. So here we have int start is equals to 0. So here you're introducing the starting variable as 0. We want this loop to start at 0. So start, you run as long as start is less than 20. Each time you're running, start should increment by 1. Okay. I know this is crazy. Everything here looks strange. Yeah, don't worry, but just know that this is the standard. You'll always be using this. And then we'll go and print start. Let me print this. Let me just show you what I know it will be very confusing. Wow, you'll be like, what is this? This is crazy. This line of code is doing all this. Yeah, but just understand that this is the first statement. Like I told you, we are trying to run a program as long as a condition is met. As many as possible. It can be infinite. If I put 100 here, it will run 100 times. You see? It runs 0 to 100 times, 0 to 99, which is 100. So, well, that's not what I'm coming here. I'm just trying to explain as simple as possible. So here you initialize a variable called start. You can call it anything. You can call it anything. Usually in programming we use IJK, but you can call it anything. I'm just using start so that I will just make you understand something. So int start is equals to 0. You're starting from 0. That is why this is 0, right? And you're saying as long as start is less than 20. This is the condition. As long as start is less than 20. You might say, okay, this is 19. But look at, you're starting from 0. If you're to count 0, then it is 20. Right? But if you're starting from 1, let me show you something. It will 1 to 19 because you're saying as long as it's less than 20. Right? But you're starting from 0. So it shouldn't be up to 20. It should be 19 at most. But the other one is including 0 because you're starting from 0. So that is what you have to understand. So as long as you cannot see 20 here, but if I put less than or equals to, just know that thing you learn in if statement is very important because you'll be using it throughout your journey. 20 will be included, right? So let's forget about this 20. Let's say less than 20. If you are like, why didn't you print other decimal places? It's because you are using an integer. So what is less than 20? 19 is till 0 is the only integer values that are less than 20, right? So that's why you're seeing these things. And I said as long as start is less than 20 and start plus plus, it means each time you're going, increment start by 1. Whenever in programming, whenever you hear x plus plus, it means add 1 to x, or you say, okay, x minus minus, x minus minus. It means minus 1 from x. I don't know if you understand. Plus plus, minus minus. You get the idea. So let me explain this to you. So for int start is equal to 0, I start from 0. I start as long as start is less than 20. Each time I'm going, I add 1 to start, right? So if I run this program now, the compiler will say, okay, let me start from 0. Since the first time, it will print what? 0, right? This is 0. And then it checks down after the print, there's nothing to execute. It goes back to the for loop and said, okay, since the first time is what? 0. And then next time I'll add 1 to 0, which is what? 1. So here now, this is 1. Is 1 less than 20? Yes. You go down and print 1, which is this. And then add 1 to 1, it's 2. You go back again and say, okay, what do I have now? I have 2. Is 2 less than 20? Yes. 2 is less than 20. You go down and print 2 and print it and add 1 to it. And you go back again, you have 3. Is 3 less than 20? True. You go down and print it, then add 1 to it. It will be 4. You go again. Is 4 less than 20? Yes. Print it, add 1 to it. It continues doing this until it goes to 19. You print it and add 1 to it. 20. Is 20 less than 20? No. Then you stop. That is why you're printing 19. I don't know if you understand. Let me write down. So 4 int I. Usually I use I in programming. I is equals to 2. I is less than or equals to, let me say, 30. I times 2. You see here, so you say print I. Let's run this and see if what it will print. Okay. No confuse it. Plus equals 2. Okay. So look, this is what I want to do before I do the multiplication. The multiplication is not necessary. So whenever you see plus equals to, it means add 2 to I. Just like I did plus plus. If you see plus equals, it means whatever I is, keep on adding 2 to it. Don't worry, I will explain this later. This is very, very important. This concept here is very, very important. I will explain it later. So what I'm saying is, each time I'm going through I, I'll add 2 to it. So here I'll say, for int, I is equal to 2. I'm starting from 2. I'll go as long as I is less than or equals to 30. You see that 30 is included because I is less than or equals to 30. Each time I add 2 to I. So the first time I'm going to go in, I'll say 2 and I'll print it, right? Then I'll add 2 to it, it will be 4. Is 4 less than or equals to 30? True. And I'll print it and add 2 to 4. Is 6. Is 6 less than or equals to 30? I'll say 2. Then I'll print 6 and I'll add 2 to 6. And I'll go back again and say, is 8 less than or equals to 30? True. And I'll print 8. I'll do this until I reach 30. And I say, is 30 less than or equals to 30? True. I'll print 30 and I'll add 2 to it, which is 32. I'll go back and say, is 32 less than or equals to 30? No. Then I stop. That is the for statement for you. So just know that the syntax is for, you initialize it, you put the condition, and then you increment it. You can still do anything you want to do with I. You can still say I times I. You have a, whatever you like, you can do with it. So this is all for the first statement. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.